My name is Jenn Berezowski. I am a CPA/CA by day, and by night I referee hockey, and on weekends I also do the off-ice officiating with the Belleville Senators of the IIHF. I'm originally from Brighton. I was born and raised there, and I went to school in Port Hope, and when I was little, my dad would always watch Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday nights, so I remember cuddling up with him on the lazy boy and watching the games on TV, and he would explain things to me and teach me all about the game, and I just loved it. So obviously I wanted to try it. Me and my brother both got started at the same time, and it kind of turned into this lifelong love for the game. I played with the boys in Brighton until I was about 14, and then I went to private school in Port Hope, where I played another 4 years. Went to university and played 2 years there and kind of fell out of love with playing. So that's when I got into officiating more seriously. There was a need for officials in my small town in Brighton growing up. So my mom brought it to my attention kind of when I was in that age where you can start refereeing, and I took the test and got into it there, and it was kind of like a nice side gig, make a couple of bucks, but I wasn't really serious about it. It was just kind of something to do for fun in my free time. And then, I went to school and didn't have a great relationship with my coach, had a lot of early mornings, a lot of time on the road, and I ended up being focused more on school at that point. So when I was in university, I wanted to referee more because the money was good, and it helped me do some things that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to. And I was getting noticed by people on the ice. Supervisors were saying I was doing a good job, and I was getting moved up the ranks. And so being good at something and being told you're good at something, it made me like it more. It made me want to continue on and see kind of where that path could lead. When I was starting out, I had no idea that there was these types of opportunities in officiating. Obviously, you see the Olympics on TV and you think, oh, I would like to do that. And as a player, that didn't work out for me. So the Olympics, it's kind of a strange thing. Everything has to align for a female to be able to get picked to go to that. You don't think there's that many female officials because on a regular basis people aren't seeing us, but if you go into Toronto, there is quite a big pool of female officials, and it is quite competitive. So things definitely have to line up. They might take one from Canada, they might take two from Canada every 4 years, right? So are the Olympics a goal? I would say that would be kind of the pipe dream, but getting to officiate games on an annual basis at these different tournaments is a great opportunity and something that I strive to get higher tournaments every year. So far in my officiating career, I've got to do some pretty cool things. Back when the CWHL was around, the Professional Women's League in Canada, I got to do some finals for that. I've got to do all-star games, and these are played at some pretty big venues like the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. I've gotten to do some university female finals. I've got to do some IIHF events overseas. So I've been to the Winter Universiade, and that was in Kazakhstan. And I did do a Women's World Championship in Slovenia in 2018. At that point, I was just a linesman, so now I'm promoted to a referee, and I'm hopefully going to work my way up through those tournaments as a referee this time around. Of course, there are barriers. I remember vividly this time I was reffing a Bantam AAA game, and it was one of my first games. It was a boy game with the bands on, and I had two supervisors on my lines, and so the most support you could ever have. And one of the coaches didn't like something that was going on, and I went over to the bench and I explained to him why. And as I was skating away, he yelled, "Oh, you don't know what the heck you're doing, go back in the kitchen," right? So there's comments like that kind of set you back, set your confidence back, and makes you kind of go like, do I know what I'm doing? So I think people do view us differently, even though they shouldn't, even though there's females who can officiate at the same level as high-level men that do it. It's kind of the same as society, right? You look at females and they're smart and they're doing their job well, but they still aren't viewed in the same light in some scenarios compared to the men in the same roles. But I'm so happy that those barriers are finally being broken and that there will be opportunities in the future. It's something that when you start, you don't realize you're paving the way for anyone, but it's kind of what you hope to do along the way, right, is to inspire the next generation and to do something that opens doors for females after you're gone. So when you start to see the major sports leagues include women in their officiating staffs, it's hopeful. I would say it's inspiring. Gives you something to actually dream for, not just as a pipe dream that for kids below me, it might actually be something that's attainable. And I think having a league would be great, especially for our youth, right? For all the young girls, because it's becoming such a popular sport. Having somewhere where they can go watch their heroes, their stars, people they want to be, is really important. I'm hopeful that one day my daughter will have a place to play, similar to the NHL if she so chooses. Do I think it'll happen in my lifetime? I'm hopeful. I really hope that that's the next step, right? And down at the grassroots, I still do hockey, a lot of local hockey, and there is a significant increase in the amount of females playing hockey and the amount of girls that are getting picked, selected to get scholarships in the USA, or that continue on their playing after that, right? Whether it's with the PWHPA or whether they go down to the States to play in the PHF. There's definitely more opportunities, and I can only see that growing as time moves forward. For females who are looking to get into hockey in general, I would say get into it. It's fun to be on the ice with your friends, and if you don't like being on the ice, it's fun going to games with your friends. It's fun coaching if you like that side of it. It's fun officiating. If hockey's something you're interested in, don't let anybody say you can't. Do whatever you want, whether it's hockey, whether it's soccer, whether it's at school or in your job. I would say there are going to be barriers everywhere, but don't be afraid to try and break them down.